Hello everyone. I thought it was about time that I'd be fully transparent with you guys and answer the important questions. Who the hell am I, and why do I think I know stuff about DBD? Well, recently, DBD announced something very interesting. A stat tracker. Now, unlike other games, the stat tracker is not actually part of the game. You have to go to a different website and actually register through Behavior's website and link your account, yada 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 yada. But I've done all that, and here I am, and as you can see, this is my all-time. I have 720.2 hours played in matches, apparently, which is interesting because my Steam hours are 1,500, and I know I have another 800 hours on console. Now, how does this make sense? How do I have almost double the playtime on PC alone than it says I have in the game? Well, there are a couple reasons for this. First of all, when I first started playing on PC, when I first started playing this game, I played on console. I moved to PC before cross progression was a thing. So when they announced the cross progression, I got to link my Steam to my PlayStation. And what happened was my PlayStation account overwrote my Steam progress because I had way more on console. But that was only my player stats, like the character prestige levels I had and my blood point count. I'm not sure how it blended the hours I had between Steam and PlayStation, and I'm also not sure how it would calculate the hours I had on the other profile before it was overwritten. Now, another big thing to keep in mind is that these statistics are only regular 1v4 public matches and seasonal events. 2v8 doesn't count. Chaos Shuffle doesn't count. Now, granted, these are pretty new events, so the bulk of anyone's time wouldn't be in those game modes anyway, but the main one here I want to point out is custom games. A large portion of my time spent on this game has been in customs with 4 other friends, just messing around and hunting each other, and that's how me and my friends first really got into this game. Another thing I want to point out is obviously there's going to be a crap ton of time spent in between matches, between leveling your character, waiting for a game, loading into a game, and just sitting idle on your PC. So it makes sense that the stats tracked is significantly lower than what it says I have on PlayStation, which makes me very interested in what it might say for some of the some of the more well-known DVD devoters like Otz or Aaron or True Talon. So I haven't taken a peek at those. If you guys know what theirs say, please let me know. I'm actually pretty curious. The difference between their reported stats according to DBD and their actual playtime hours. Now, let's get to the actual interesting stuff. I don't play Killer too much. If you look at my Killer page, you can see that I do play the Blight the most, and you can see Cannibal, Deathslinger, but I don't really play that much Killer. I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick view of all the Killer stats I have, which is pretty interesting stuff to look at. I got a 63% kill rate, 64 if you round up. And these are my top 4 used perks, which makes sense for me, my playstyle. Now, I want to look at the Survivor stats, because this is what's really interesting. My top survivor is Nick Cage, for sure. I believe it 100%, and you can tell because I have 137 hours almost. Now, when I played on PlayStation, I played Ace. Okay, here you can see Ace Visconti. I have 54.1 hours. Now, that's really interesting. I could have sworn I would have had a lot more time playing him on console than is reported here, but, you know, we're just gonna have to burn that out of our minds and just look at, since it's been traced, I have 54 hours on Ace and 137 on Nick Cage. High pick rate, high escape rate too. I wonder who my highest escape. Now, okay, so with Ace, when I played on console, I had an escape rate of 46%. Now, I'm a lot better now since I've been playing Nick Cage, but my escape rate is a lot lower. Partially, I think that's because I mess around a lot more now compared to when I used to play. I played for the escape, but also because when I played Ace, I usually was playing with a friend. There wasn't much time when I would play on console that I was playing by myself. And I want to look at, I have 0 pick rates for 3 characters. Hey, look, I have 100 escape rate as Hattie. That's awesome. Anyone else I have 100 for? No? Alright, well, we can never play Hattie again. It's just how it's gotta be. We gotta keep that 100%. Now, let's get to the really interesting stuff. Total matches played, 3,400. Total escapes, 1,400. That's almost 50%. Yep, 41.77% escape rate. That's pretty darn close. 197 million that I've earned blood points. And you can see, how do they track? Ooh, my longest chase time is just under 2 minutes. Now, something to keep in mind, if anyone feels like they've had a chase that's longer than actually recorded here, one of the best strategies you can do at the chase is actually technically escape the chase or end the chase. If you can walk around and not be in direct light of the killer, then you can actually count the chase as ended, and then the killer gets their bloodlust reset, so they're a lot slower. So, so this is just going to be the longest continuous chase. So if you're pallet stunning them, you're going to be resetting their bloodlust and not necessarily ending the chase. And I've won 17.7 thousand chases. All right, guys, that's a lot. That's a lot. 3,500 matches. That means I've escaped. Hold on, let's do some math real quick. How many chases have I escaped per match? So let's say 17,707 divided by 3,416. I have escaped 5.09 chases every single game on average. That's pretty awesome. Winning 5 chases per game I've played? Come on now. Alright, now let's look at the perks. This is kind of interesting. Dead Hard. Now, what's really interesting about this is I actually didn't think I used Dead Hard that much since I moved to PC. Now, I remember running Dead Hard all the time back in the day when you could use Dead Hard for distance, when it actually made you invulnerable instead of giving you the endurance effect that it does now. To be clear, I think that it's a much healthier perk now, but I don't recall using it as much as it's saying I've used it. It'd be cool if you could see the last time you used it, or the actual most popular builds you use. Now, Chemtrap up here, I believe. I've been using Chemtrap basically non-stop since it came out, and I have a pretty decent escape rate with it. Actually, not as good as I do with other perks. So Windows makes sense, guys. I'm guilty. I'll run Windows non-stop. It's just always helpful, especially during solo queue. Dead Hard, I'm kind of surprised by. Off the record, I also completely admit that I use this all the time, even on console, because this is his arena perk, and that's the Deathslinger DLC. And I remember when that came out, I was in high school, and I would be watching the trailer for the Deathslinger in class, and that's when I was like, all right, now it's time to learn how to do flashlight saves and moonwalks and everything. And that's when I really started getting into the YouTube side of this game. DS, yeah, I make sense. That's another one of the perks. Honestly, this build right here, this is probably something I would have read for a long time on console. And I still do, obviously. I run Windows a lot. I run Off the Record a lot less now. The pick rate has dropped a lot, as you can see. Oh, well, they're all just descending. But I used to run this perk a lot more. Like, it was in every single one of my builds. Decisive Strike I haven't used, basically, since they reworked it at all. So, it being this far up is just purely from me being on console. So, you can see if I go to the last 30 days... Oh yeah, we get something much, much different. Champion of Light, I love this perk. It's one of my favorites. Slowing down the killer by blinding them, so fun. The Chemtrap Champion of Light combo is my favorite combo in the game. It's so funny to slow them down. Smash Hit, look, this is the build I've been running right here. Just Windows, well, I've been swapping out Windows with Fixated and Exaltation and everything, which makes sense. But anyways, back to the all-time. Borrowed Time, I haven't really been using that much anymore. Adrenaline, I don't use that much anymore, but Chemtrap, I definitely do all the time. Lithe is probably my favorite exhaust perk, except for Dramaturgy. Quick and Quiet, I use when I'm running certain builds, so I'm pretty surprised it's up here, because usually I would use Quick and Quiet with, like, Head On. So I wonder, where is Head On? Head On's down here, 7%, and a 37% escape rate with it. That's usually when I would run that. Sprint Burst, interesting, number 11. Zillion's Vigil, made for this. Background Player, I'm surprised is a little low. I need to get that up. And same with Dramaturgy. I need to run Dramaturgy a lot more. Breakout makes sense. I really like this perk. Now, we're getting kind of to the middle here, which is just perks that I've used off and on, you know, trying different builds or whatever specific situations. So let's get to the bottom here, and I want to see what perks I don't pick at all. Lightweight, I have a 0.3% pick rate and an 100% escape rate. That's pretty interesting. Pharmacy, this lets you get a med kit from a chest, which I apparently never used and never won with. Dance with me, yeah, it's not that good anymore. I used to actually run this perk way back in the day. When I first started playing, this was one of the perks I would run all the time. Overzealous, also pretty lame perks. Shadow, alert. Yeah, I don't really use aura perks that much, to be honest. Better than new, low profile, camaraderie, friendly competition, do no harm. This one I have been running a couple times recently, so that's why it's not at 0%. So I find it interesting. There aren't any perks that I've never used. I've run every perk at some point. Alright guys, well, those are the perks I run. Those are the total matches I played, my escapes, my escape rate, my longest chase, the chases I've won. Average times I'm hooked is 1.85, makes sense. So I wonder if that's including hook stages or just times I've been placed on a hook. Because if I'm placed once, but I never get unhooked, or if I'm the last one to die in the game and I don't have any hooks and I get hooked once, but technically, you know, it just kills me instantly, that's 3 hook stages. Not sure. Now, how do they actually measure this? Oh, this is the amount of times that you've gotten iridescent versus gold, silver, or bronze. Okay. So what am I the worst at? Benevolent. This is helping other people, right? Shit, let me look this up. Benevolent is your altruistic tendencies. Okay, so I am definitely super altruistic most of my games. Evader. Oh, this is showing you your total ones. Okay, so benevolent, I am way more benevolent than I am not benevolent. And evader, this is escaping the killer. Oh, embarrassing. I'm much more right in the middle. So, you know, that means some games I'm doing incredible. And the ones where I'm doing incredible, I'm doing absolutely incredible. But most of the games I just do just okay, it seems. Lightbringer, this is the gens that you do. I scarcely spend my whole time on gens, which makes sense. You know, it's spread out a lot more in the middle, which I think this is where you want it to be in general. This is how much generator progress you're doing. So between 4 people, you want to hit silver or gold. That means you're doing more than 1 gen, but, you know, not 3 gens every game. And Unbroken, this is like your survival, I guess, so like healing yourself and whatever. Let me double check. Yeah, that's your survivability. Okay. Interesting. Well, how benevolent are you guys, huh? Are y'all lacking out there? Are you actually getting the saves like you're supposed to? I would argue that benevolence is probably the most important category to get to focus on. I've healed more people than I've been hooked. That's important, guys. Average blood points earned is 57,000 per game? What? No way. Or is that by, like, month? That doesn't seem right. Maybe. 57,000. 57,000 times 3 would be 100, No, it needs to be times 3,000, right? So 50,000 times 3,000. 150 million. Yeah, okay, actually that makes sense. So they just take this and they divide it by your total matches. So I average 57,000 a match? That's crazy. Wait, no, that makes sense, because you get 8,000 per category, right? And so if you're getting 8,000 per category, that's 8, 16, 24, that's 32. And then you can add any other kind of bonuses. So usually I'm running an escape cake or there's an event going on, which is why I get so much more. And they've also reworked the blood point cap a lot, so that makes sense. All right, guys, well, those are my stats. Let me know what you guys think. Am I a total fraud? Do you think I was a lot better or a lot worse than statistics actually say? And what do you guys think about the disparity between the playtime and the time in game? Do you guys believe your stats? Do you think these are fishy, or does it all make sense? I think it's pretty accurate. You know, it's not your all-time, it's only from a point, but as we go forward, this is just going to be more and more accurate, especially for newer players joining now. So, yeah, thumbs up behavior. I'm glad you did it. It was about time.